past the signs, over the borders of our mind. 'Cause today's a beautiful day. Why would anyone take that away? Can we stay? Let's just stay. It's a beautiful,
Hey folks,
wonderful day.
well we're back on the Swarm Expedition reviewing progress through Phase 1. I went to the kiosk and put in my Minotaur tech as well as everything I'm going to take on the trip. You can see I got a lot of expansion slots for my exosuit, my ship, multi-tool, and everything you need to outfit a freighter. I've also got a couple of 3 stacks of tainted metal. Great way to store nanites and bring it into the expedition. And I've got 3 stacks of suspicious tech. They can be sold for nanites or put to good use. We'll just have to see. As well as a couple of hard to find items that are good for outfitting tech. So we'll just head back to the anomaly and start that expedition. We'll see how it played out. So far, I've started this expedition 3 different times, and every time I've been Sage. So I really don't expect it to be any different. This is the illusion of choice that they put you through at the beginning. I fully expected that I would be a green grasshopper at the end of this, and wouldn't you know? Green grasshopper. First thing to do is disable PvP. Keeps the griefers from messing up your game. And then find your ship. So besides the usual parts, we also have to make the Royal Sage and Weaver Echoes in order to fix the ship. And for that you're going to need silver and star bramble, among other things. Those are the hardest ingredients I had to find. I eventually found a resource node of silver, so that took care of that. Star bramble was a long walk away. When I did get there, I found out that it was guarded by corrupted sentinels. And I didn't want to get in a fight this early in the game, so I figured the easiest thing to do is to go around them. I managed to avoid them okay, but when I was gathering up the star bramble, I got hit by one of those weird storms that these planets have. It's kind of weird. Just sort of lifts you off the ground and you got no control. I was really worried about fall damage, but if you time your jets right before you hit, you can pretty much avoid getting hurt. So then it was back to the ship. Set up the portable refiner, make the stuff you need to make, including some glass using silica, and put everything together. And once you get the echoes done, jump back in the ship, talk to the ghost, and he'll give you the recipe for the final piece you need to get the ship going. After that, you're airborne. What I would usually do on an expedition at this point is fly up to the asteroid field and shoot it to get some tritium so I can keep my pulse engines going and pick up some extra gold and silver that I can either use or sell. But our immediate mission is to meet the Hive of Glass for the first time. This first encounter he runs away, but he does leave behind 4 groups of swarmers that you'll have to defeat before you can get to the next milestone. You need to be careful that you don't take too much damage. This is a new type of enemy, and they're a lot more agile than the normal pirates that you fight. But if you're careful and watch your shields, you should be able to take care of all of them. Highlight the milestone to make sure it's active, and after a short conversation with Polo, you'll be able to call the anomaly. Ordinarily, that wouldn't happen until after you made your first warp, but this expedition is unique. So now that I'm finally at the anomaly, I can make my way over to the expedition console and get those materials and tech. Once I have enough nanites, I'll also have the option to make a copy of my multi-tool from my main save. But notice they grayed out the Starship option. At the Quicksilver vendor, you can claim items that you've unlocked from previous expeditions. Being able to claim a ship or a multi-tool could give you access to a valuable asset or give you something you can sell for a lot of money. Depending on the item, it might cost nanites for you to claim it, or it might be free. I got me an Atlas staff, headed up and had my talk with Polo, and then I headed back down to the console to get at my stash. The first thing I want to do is get some nanites, and I have a lot of tainted metal that I could refine, but that takes a long time, and I don't have any way to refine it here at the anomaly anyway. The quickest way to access a large amount of nanites is to go to those stacks of suspicious technology that I have. Each one of those stacks in the console is worth 2 stacks of 50 in my exosuit. When you open the suspicious tech, you'll get one of 3 things. Most commonly, you'll get an X-level upgrade of some random type. And until you actually install it into your exosuit or your spaceship or your multi-tool, you'll have no idea whether it's better than S-class, worse than C-class, or somewhere in between. The second kind of item you can get is a piece of broken technology. You can dismantle this broken technology and receive some type of material. It could be rust, it could be, in this case, magnetized ferrite, but it could also be indium, cadmium, or copper, silver, platinum, different things randomly. The third type of item that can drop out of these things is a data record, either of a plant, animal, or mineral. When you analyze the data on these items, they turn straight up into nanites. In this particular case, 90. Before I could open up 300 of those things, I was going to need some more inventory slots. So I headed up to the upgrade station and got my first free upgrade. With my stack of 60 exosuit upgrades, I'll be able to expand my technology slots and my inventory significantly. Once I have enough space to unlock all the X upgrades, I have the option to try installing some of them, but it's a much better option to sell them. It's an often overlooked fact that our old pal Ares, who awards nanites for milestones, also sells and buys. Bear in mind, any tech that you install and then later decide that you don't like and uninstall will only be worth 16 nanites, as opposed to the hundreds it would have fetched otherwise. While I would never buy anything from the guy, being able to sell here means that I'll have nanites available to spend at the anomaly without having to go through the inconvenience of going to a space station and then returning. If you do install any of the tech and then decide that you don't want it, consider that it's probably better to break it up into components than to sell it for such a reduced price. Whether you wind up with a superior upgrade, useful components, or just a whole lot of nanites, either way, you're going to come out ahead. The next time you see me, I'll have a fully upgraded exosuit, an S-class ship, and a really good multi-tool. The only other thing I need to do is visit the appearance modifier. I hope some or all of what I shared is useful to you or gives you your own ideas. Feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. And until next time, safe traveling.